Alright, so what are you practicing?
I'm practicing. How do I say?
Like what matchup?
Versus Terra
Okay.
on Moonlight Madness. The map's name.
Okay, is this like a hard map for you?
No, it's like I have a strategy on this map.
What's the plan?
My plan is this map has a base at background.
Yep.
So I'm gonna do Nidus build on that is third. That's
Okay.
my plan on this map.
And who are you using this against at BlizzCon?
Against Dream.
Against Dream? Is that
Yeah.
your first match?
Yeah, it's my first match in round of 16.
Alright. And you're practicing with Kelzer?
Yeah, Kalazar. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Is there any special stuff in this build, or just the strategy being Nidus? Like any other weird things?
Any other what?
Any other weird things, like not normal?
Other things? Yeah, this build is not normal. Just I made these barrels for only this map.
Okay.
Yeah, I can use these barrels only for this map.
So it doesn't work on other maps, this one is because of the backdoor third or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And is this based on how you've seen Dream play, or this is just for the map?
Yeah, actually, this build can counter him because he always tries to be like greedy play,
Yep.
especially against his third. So I'm trying to counter attack him.
Okay. So you've studied him and you know what you think he's gonna do.
Yeah.
And this is a straight counter to that. And what are you doing, Diego?
I'm just playing standards repro for now. Gonna try to get some scouting because Zergs usually have a cheeky build in this map.
Yep.
So I'm just trying to put myself in Dreams.
So you're just playing kind of like standard and safe and like Dreamwood?
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you already know the map order, or you just know that this map will be there?
All I know is I can pick first map and I can veto first map.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pick this map for third map
Okay.
because I don't wanna use my strategy for the first map.
Right.
We think that it would be too obvious
Okay.
if
If you pick this map and then
That's
have a
first,
strategy
yeah.
prepared, okay.
because like Diego said, like this map is kind of cheesy.
Yep.
So if someone uses this strategy, which is like the most prepared strategy and the cheesiest strategy that he's preparing overall, then if he picks this map first, it's going to be a little obvious.
Okay.
That there's something to look for.
So he can treat it more like, maybe I didn't want this map necessarily,
Right,
but
exactly.
this is the last map that I picked, and
Or the second map, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
We think that if Dongwon wins the first match, there's a good chance for a 3-0, for example.
yep,
Because this map would be the third map,
yep,
So yeah, we just basically don't want to give it away that 100% Dongwon has something prepared on this map, and the other maps are a little more standard plus a couple responses.
okay,
So the first two maps of the series could set the pace more or less for what Dream should be expecting
alright,
from Dongwon, and then this kind of breaks that, right?
that makes sense. Are most of the other timings for this build, like standard things, or is everything weird?
No, it's a Nidus build. It's just particularly strong in this map, that's all.
So it's a standard Nidus that's taking advantage of the map more than it's...
Yeah, when you talk about Niduses, a lot of the time they're later in the game or just like reactive. So this build is focused on going for that Nidus right away, basically. That's the difference with most Nidus builds. It's not going to be a reaction to anything or anything like that. It's just going to be a straight up, I will Nidus because it's really fucking strong in this map, right?
Yeah, okay.
And we have a couple of things that, like for example, the Overlord placement we discussed. So depending on, like you can see that
I'll
that
see if
order
I can
that
get
he-
the mini-map.
Yeah, that order right there.
Yep,
Like he's gonna position it depending more or less on what happens in the game. So we had a couple of things that we discussed. Either it goes on the like there's an edge
Okay.
all over like crossing that little bridge for
Yep.
that overlord. And then there's where he's sitting it right now, which is ideal in the closest possible location, right? So if he can get it to get the Nidus off where he's getting it right now, that's obviously just ideal.
Okay, and the Evo chambers are just a block. They're not for upgrades necessarily.
Correct.
Okay.
And the Nidus, like for example, that's the best location for it. I initially thought maybe the further away location was more like way harder to scout, but this timing is just so much faster
Yeah.
that it's pretty nuts. It's just a lot of shit.
So the worry there would be that the rocks are somehow killed, but there's no real reason to do that, right? Unless you see this coming.
Right. That's pretty much the only worry. If the rocks were killed, I'm not sure what we haven't really talked about it. What would you do if the rocks were killed? You think, Dolan?
And then I'll do the rocks.
Huh?
And I have to. What?
So you
I
would
have to-
still use that same Nidus location?
Yeah.
Okay. Fucking Diego.
Fucking
So I'm
Diego.
guessing Diego didn't take a third command center. I haven't really been watching his stream, but he's still relatively.
It looks
hard.
like he's just dropping it.
Yeah, at this point, like even though I didn't take a third command center,
Yep.
I took so much damage, and because I don't have the third command center, this game is pretty over as it is.
So if you already had the third command center, you might be a little farther behind from the investment, but you'd be able to catch up quicker.
No, basically. If
Yeah,
he
I'll
had a
basically
third
die.
command center, this would be even harder to hold. Is the problem?
So he would have enough less army that it would just end.
Right. So Diego's already playing pretty much safe, kind
Okay.
of accounting for.
So
this build.
there's not really a way to deal with this, or not a good way, unless you 100% know it's coming, I guess.
Pretty much, yeah. You have to know it's coming, or you will most likely lose to it. Or maybe Dream doesn't, or knows something that we don't. But we expect that this will be a map that someone wins for sure.
This is probably the safest thing Jim could do against this,
Yeah.
and I still even lost. So
So yeah, like Diego's practicing so that Dongwon gets the best practice for the build.
Right. So
If
he's
Dream-
practicing as much like Dream as he can.
More than that, he's practicing as safe as Dream would play.
Okay.
So, for example, dropping that third CC so late it's not something that Dream will necessarily do. But
Okay, that's like worst case scenario for Hydra.
Right.
Is that third CC
yeah,
goes
it's
down super
worst
late.
case within the norm, right?
Okay.
Like, so Diego's build is still legit. He's not.
Yeah,
blind
it's not
countering.
like 10 bunkers
Yeah,
and
he's not blind countering the Hydra's build, but it's as close as it gets by naturally doing a more or less normal build.
right, and that seems really strong.
Yeah.
I almost lost.
because
Almost lost.
How long have you been working on that build?
I've been practicing this build maybe for just 1 month with Diego.
But 1 month for
Mhm.
this build,
Yeah.
like just this build.
No.
Well, yeah, you've done other things too,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, you've spent a month on this build.
Yeah.
That's intense.
What did we talk about with the Overlords, Dongwon?
Overlord?
Yeah.
Oh, I lost my first Overlord by mistake before
Oh,
game.
this
So
game?
yeah.
Okay.
So I couldn't really find my spot for my first Nidus.
The first game?
Mm-hmm.
Not this game.
No, this game.
This game?
Yeah.
Okay. So you couldn't find your spot for the Nidus?
Uh-huh. Do you wanna see a replay?
Yeah, that'd be cool. I missed the start.
This mic is like super directional,
Mhm.
so like
Okay.
I have to be pointing it right at you.
Yeah.
So
This is the one you lost?
So my plan is my first Overlord has to be here,
Yeah.
and my second Overlord has
So
to
you
be
have
here.
two options
Mhm,
for
two
Nidus
options.
positions, yeah.
Yeah.
So the first one you just left in the wrong spot too long and you just killed it?
Pretty
Mhm.
much.
Okay. Probably because I was asking you questions.
Yeah. I just missed it.
Wait, how's it gonna die there? Does he send the marine here? Or
No, I think he sent 2 Marines here, and
oh, you move it forward.
yeah, that's my mistake.
Okay.
It should can.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that first overlord we talked it should go. Whoops, where Dongwon went. Here, and then the second one here, so that if he
If
scouts,
either one dies, you can still get the Nidus down.
it's not so much about dying; it's about like Dream's potential for scouting the Nidus in itself or
Okay.
stopping it before it comes up. Right. So
What
so
do you
there's
mean?
2 solid options. Like say some players will build a supply depot here, or
Oh,
or
build a
over
supply
here.
depot to stop
Like
it, and
something
the
like that, just so that they can get scouting vision,
Okay.
so that the area in which Dongwon can drop the Nidus safely now is a lot larger.
okay,
And obviously, the closer that he can drop the Nidus without being scouted is best.
right,
But if he drops it down here with this overlord, that works too.
okay,
And I noticed that if my overlord is here, I can see if Terran searches here or not. So if Terran searches or breaks the rocks, then I can just make Nidus in front of there, or like if he searches here, then I can make Nidus here. Either way. So
Seems legit, dog.
So you've pretty much thought of everything for this build on this map.
yeah, this build is gonna probably work. I think working.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah, this is definitely the safest map, right?
Yeah.
Are there any other like unique strategies that you've come up with?
Basically, I focused on making roaches versus Dream because I feel like he is always trying to be greedy than just normal Terrans.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna press on him, push him like with just some roaches. Then I will be trying to greedy play. That's my whole plan against him.
Okay, so you're just going to pressure him
With
roaches,
Yeah.
so that he can't play greedy, and then you can play a little greedier. Okay,
That's like more or less the overall
the
thought for
overall
series.
strategy,
Right.
like not for this game. This game is like a kill him type thing.
Yeah,
it
like
seems.
we discussed a few things. Wait, why did he not kill the Nidus? Did he not see it?
He saw it. I think he tried to be nice.
Diego, why are you being nice, dog?
What?
Why didn't you kill the Nidus?
I didn't notice the Nidus, I think.
This Nidus? You
Yeah.
didn't notice that?
I walked down because
Literally
I thought it
Marine
was
King.
right before the rocks.
Literally Marine King.
So what's the worst case scenario for this build? Like, what's the hardest counter Dream can do to this? Like the thing that would make you worried.
I've been thinking about that. Then I think the most build Terran can do is if Terran go, if some Terran do tank drop here, right? That could be.
So if he already has tanks ready, then okay.
Yeah, if he goes for the tank drop blind,
Okay.
then that's...
But the chances of that are low based on what he usually does and what he usually does on this map, right?
Yeah. I've
Okay.
never
Yeah.
seen he does tank drop before.
Okay. So that's just like a more general Terran thing. This is a build specifically that will wreck Dream.
We hope so. And then, as far as what you asked, if he has other builds prepared, like, we more or less have, like, options on how the series will turn out, and builds prepared according to that. So, for example, on 4-player maps, Dongwon will either go Roaches in close positions, or Mutiling Bane.
If they're cross?
If they're cross, basically, right, Dongwon? So Roaches are obviously better than Mutiling Bane in close positions, or better than Roaches otherwise, because shorter, they're less mobile units, basically. So because Dream is weak against Roaches, and because Roaches are stronger in close positions, that's more or less the plan for 4-player maps. But overall, the 4-player map strategy is a little more standard than the rest.
Okay.
And we have a couple of responses prepared as well. So
What do you mean? What do you mean responses?
for instance, we like I showed Dongwon some like old builds that wrecked CC on the high ground, and CC on the high ground has been making a comeback of sorts.
Okay.
And Dream does CC on the high ground and the low ground first sometimes. So if he CCs on the high ground, Dongwon can, as long as he's scouted, he can do a hatch block, and that's pretty much a really good build.
Okay, so even things you wouldn't normally do, you are like, if I see that, I know how to react. Like, without having to think about it, it's like, boom, here's what I do.
Yeah, actually, if I have that case, I'm gonna use that hatchery block on Terraform. That'll be my first map.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so what do you think the other maps? You're doing Terraform, Moonlight Madness, and what's the other map going to be?
Or what's the other map?
We're assuming.
Yeah, depends on him, right?
Yeah. It depends on him. But what do you think it's going to be?
I think he's not gonna veto 4 people map because he likes 4 people.
Because he likes playing greedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And and I prepared some strategies on 4 people map that, as Kat said,
okay.
If I get cross position, then I can use Mural instead of making roaches.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my basic plan.
Okay.
So basically, Terrans don't like Bridgehead, so that's the map that we're expecting Dream to veto.
Okay.
And Dongwon's vetoing Dash and Terminal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't want to face the gold strategy. Like, we had a couple ideas that could work against the gold strategy,
but that's
I
like
think it's
riskier than other things.
Okay. Yeah, we think it's too much problem. And then on the other response, I guess, that we talked about or prepared is just the standard response to do proxy to racks. It's a best of 5, so proxy to racks could be pretty common.
Okay.
And if Dongwon doesn't scout a proxy to racks, I believe that proxy to racks properly executed and not scouted should not be able to be stopped by normal means.
Yeah.
So we prepared a build that I've been playing around with, or that I was playing around with before. That's the Roach Burrow.
Right.
So we more or less tried.
Is that the build you were doing at the beginning of Legacy, like the very beginning?
Not on Legacy, and in Heart of the Swarm.
Or Heart of the Swarm. Heart of the Swarm.
Towards the end of Heart of the Swarm, I did it a bunch, or in the middle of Heart of the Swarm. It's a build that Jaedong tried against.
It's not the Roach Burrow rush thing you did at like the start of the Heart of Swarm beta.
No. That was more Ravager stuff. That was Ravagers in Legacy. No, I'm
talking about Heart of the Swarm. You did a Roach Burrow build that I stole for a while.
No, this is not a build in itself. It's a response, right? So basically, if you get 2 racks and you don't see it, then you go cancel your natural, which most people don't do, and then go for a Roach Burrow of 1 base, and then break with that, and then regain map control with that.
Okay, because they don't really have a way to deal with the burrowed roaches, right?
Right, usually not. I think that 2 racks is still favored against
because they wouldn't have another
scouted.
Command center to be dropping extra scans.
If you look at it this way, Terran, when they're 2 racksing, they're taking a risk, right? Because if it gets scouted, they lose.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the risk they're taking. But the reward they get from 2 racksing is, if it's unscouted, they probably win.
Right.
So what this build does is takes it from potential 100% Terran victory to maybe a 40 or 50% that we can actually turn around that match.
Okay, so it's just to give yourself a chance to get back into the game for real.
And it's combined elements of both the fact that the build is uncommon and they won't know how to react to it. For example, the first time or the first few times that Dongwon tried the build against the same opponent, it would work. Like in practice with Fantasy, it worked the first time, but it didn't work the second time.
Right.
But we don't really care about the second time, right?
Yeah, you only need it once.
So, it's a build that's kind of tilts the odds in our favor if there's an unscouted 2 Rex. And I guess the only reference for that build would be because I gave that build to Jaedong to use against Bomber, but he botched it pretty hard. Like, he didn't cancel the hatchery, and it was just bad. And
so that would be the only real time Dream would have seen it.
That was pretty much.
And he would have seen it not work. So
True has a similar build. So if Dream is good friends with True, which we don't think he is, I mean, True's our homie, then he might get some information from that, but probably not.
Who else have you been practicing with?
I've been practicing with Diego and Fantas, and others was just leathering. Yeah.
Okay. So you like work out the builds with Fantasy and Diego, and then you just like grind them out on the ladder to like perfect them? Okay. Yeah,
there's pretty much not very many players playing Heart of the Swarm, so that's the main issue. So finding practice partners.
Yeah, I guess everybody's playing Legacy Beta now.
So that's the one scary thing, is that Koreans in the Kespa system right now still probably have their teammates help, even if their teammates don't want to play Legacy of the Void.
Right, they have to.
And Dongwon here has Diego. Masa is helping, even though he's no longer in the team. But you know, there's just not many people outside of Korea that are still playing Heart of the Storm. So
Right.
Blizzard.
Yeah, because everybody in BlizzCon is Korean, pretty much.
They should have closed Legacy
Yeah.
of the Void before BlizzCon.
Yes.
The players need to prepare. But
Yeah.
They're gonna close the beta like in few days.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's too late now, right?
Yes.
But we're still pretty confident. So
I'm confident.
Who do you play after Dream, do you think?
After that, the winner of Rogue versus Maru.
Which means you're playing who?
50-50 though.
Yeah, it's 50-50. Really hard to predict.
Okay.
But I hope Rogue will win because I've been winning against him since I was in CJ.
Okay, so you've like been beating him for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maru can be really scary at TVC, but Rogue is one of the best CVT in the world, and Dongwon has the upper hand against Rogue. So we're hoping Rogue wins, and we think that Rogue can win for sure. But if he doesn't, I mean, I'll be taking notes on Maru's games, and you know, hopefully I'll be there, or I will be there at BlizzCon, so we can compare notes and figure something out.
If you do play versus Maru, do you think it'll be completely different than the Dream series, or you'll be able to use some of the same stuff? Like, I assume you won't be able to use any, like, the Nidus thing.
Yeah.
You might.
I think I'm gonna use the Nidus build on other map or maybe one more on that map.
Okay.
But I'm just focusing on against Dream because after that I have 5 days until next match.
Okay.
So,
So right now everything is Dream, and
Yeah.
then once you're done with that, you can start to
yeah.
worry about other things. So you're only preparing for Dream. Okay.
That's like the unique thing about BlizzCon is that
Yeah.
every opponent is insanely good.
Yeah.
So every opponent should be taking as seriously as possible, right?
Yeah.
Our goal right now is to beat Dream.
Yeah, it's
and
not.
then
It's,
our next goal is to beat Maru.
yeah,
right?
it's
Or
not like you
Rogue.
can prepare for Dream
Yeah, you
and
can't
these
prepare,
all these
yeah,
other
like-
players at once.
like
you
we
prepare
had-
for your next guy.
We had like 6 CVP builds, but I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that's down the line,
Yeah.
and it may not be down the line. So
Yeah. All right. So you said Diego was practicing to play like Dream.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Like, how do you figure out what somebody's going to do and then practice like them? For any of you can answer this. I'm just curious. Like,
Well,
For
you
a-
watch VODs and replays, or can more or less figure out how they play or how they like to play on average. Like, yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Yes.
so it's just a lot of like studying of VODs and replays and.
Yeah, players usually have a consistent style through, you know, especially Terran players are not necessarily the most flexible, just because that's how the Terran race is designed, right? So yeah, usually players excel at either. It's like playing different games if you're a very aggressive player or a very macro-oriented player. So there is a comfort zone for each player, and figuring that out can give you an edge.
And is there stuff that goes into it, like, have you seen, we'll stay with Moonlight Madness, have you seen Dream on that map, like, scout in certain patterns, and you're doing things to avoid that, or that's not a part of this? Like, this is a different part of strategy?
Well, it would be great to have a VOD like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury to, like, pick and choose the maps that we watch because,
Yeah, it's just whatever you can get.
yeah, we searched a bit and there were, like, no games of him on Moonlight Madness because a lot of the games are best of 3.
Right. So that
And-
one would be vetoed most
yeah,
of the time.
like, probably the most probable vetoes for a Terran would be, like, Bridgehead or Moonlight.
Okay.
But if you had to pick between one of those and a best of 5, it would probably be Bridgehead, and
Right.
that's why we're preparing for Moonlight.
Okay.
But yeah, we don't get to see a VOD of him on Moonlight, unfortunately.
yeah, Bridgehead is just generally bad for Terran. So what Diego was bringing up, for example, is if Bridgehead goes through over Moonlight, then no one should be expecting Dream to have prepared a build on Bridgehead, and the most common
Okay.
build that's like, which would be the equivalent of the Nidus build that we're preparing.
Right. It would
almost.
be his version of that.
Right, which is usually involves tank drops and
But that's something that, like, if he picks that map, you already kind of know, you have an idea of what he's going to do on there because it's the common Terran build and you already know how to beat it. And it's a standard thing, so you don't have to practice specifically for it.
It's not necessarily a common Terran build, but
it's a known
it's
thing.
a known build that is effective on that map where every other build is not. So
Okay.
even though it doesn't happen often because Terrans veto that map,
Yeah.
you know, it's more of a thing that Flash pulled off one time, and it's like everyone's like, oh, okay, I guess that's how you win. But then if everyone starts doing it, then that's no longer how you win.
Yeah. Who are you most looking forward to playing at BlizzCon?
I don't know. I'm just focusing on my first match versus Dream, and after that, I could think of it. I think.
Okay. I like that. Like, no messing around. Like, you're all about kicking dreams. But okay.
Kill the dream.
Kill the dream. Rip the dream. Rip the dream.
Rip the dream. Hashtag rip the dream.
Can I say that in the interview?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, you should do that.
Are you going to trash talk in your BlizzCon interviews?
Not really, but I think I don't know. It just depends on my feeling.
Yeah.
If my field wants to do that,
Right.
probably I will do that. But
So if you're feeling like extra confident, you've got it.
Yeah.
You might. Okay.
Donwan's like the only player that prepares for interviews as well. Since he has them in English, he doesn't want to mess up sometimes.
How do you prepare for an interview?
for the interview,
Because I mean, I just came out here with a camera. I made you sit down, so there's no
Also-
chance to prepare for.
He just like figures out like whatever he's saying is proper. Like I don't know if you've noticed, but Dongwon is a lot better at talking to us than he is in interviews.
Yeah.
that's
Well,
because
he's
he
more
tries to-
relaxed.
Yeah, he tries to like be super proper and make sure he's using the right words.
Yeah.
And instead that just cuts from his vocabulary.
Yeah.
So it's really funny when he tries to prepare for interviews.
Do you have anything big prepared or no?
for the interview.
Yeah. Or for anything. Do you have any ceremonies prepared? Or...
I didn't really think of it, but I think if I win the match in many crowds,
Yeah.
I will do something. I think after
Okay.
winning.
Are you excited to play at BlizzCon?
Yeah.
Is this like
So excited.
is this the biggest tournament
Yeah,
you've played
it's the
in?
biggest tournament.
Bigger
of
than MSL
StarCraft.
or the same or
I think it's bigger than MSL.
wow. Man.
I mean, the prize pool is insane, right?
Yeah. You're gonna win the whole thing, right?
Yeah,
Easy.
easy.
Okay. Alright, so we're here at BlizzCon. You shit on Dream.
Yeah.
Easy, no problem. How did the series go? Like compared to how you thought it would go?
Basically, he did the things that I didn't expect. So I was some like confused because he went all in 2 times in a row early sets.
Yep.
So that was pretty unexpected play by him. But yeah, I decided to go all in the last match,
Right.
and it worked out very well. And so I was very happy.
So we talked to you before you left the house
Mhm.
when you were going to go to Burbank to play Dream, and you were working really hard on this Moonlight Madness build.
Yeah.
That was what we talked about. We talked about your Moonlight Madness build and how
Yeah.
good it was. And then he proxied you.
Yeah.
Did that like mess with your mind really bad, or did you just treat it as a normal game?
I was just surprised by he did 2 times in a row that build, and I wasn't like frustrated or something. I was just okay. I can lose this game, but I know what you're gonna do next game or in this series.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel bad. I
So
think.
it just changed what you did on that one map. It didn't change the whole series or
Yeah.
anything like that. Okay. And who do you play now? You play Rogue?
Yeah, I played Rogue.
Are you gonna 3-0 easy?
It might be 3-1.
Might be 3-1, maybe. How is it 3-1? What does he do to make it 3-1?
He's probably the best Zerg in Caspa players now, and he's been doing really well in Pro League, in individual leagues in Korea.
Right.
So, but I've been winning against him since when I was in CJ, so I'm really confident.
Okay. And then you play the winner of SOS versus Rain.
Yeah,
Are you
right.
even thinking about that yet, or you're just doing Rogue right now?
I can't think about.
You can't think about
yet.
that. Everything is Rogue. Just
Yeah.
Rogue. And you haven't done anything at BlizzCon.
Mm-hmm.
You've been here for like 2 days
Yeah.
and only practice.
Yeah, only practice.
Only practice. Are you? So you're not going to see anything at BlizzCon because you're just going to keep practicing and keep winning, right?
I'm not gonna see anything about BlizzCon until I lost my.
And you won't lose.
Yeah, I
So
won't
after
lose.
grand finals, we'll take you on a tour.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Is there anything specific you have planned for Rogue? Like, obviously, he's not going to see this.
My plan is, I've always shown my style as a safe player.
Right.
So I'm gonna do a little all-in build.
Okay.
That's my whole plan against Rogue.
Is there any like particular map you're working on, like you were with Dream, or is it more of a like just in general like aggressive style?
Not particularly map.
Okay.
Because it's GVG. GVG
Okay.
is pretty hard to like video maps.
All right. Anything else you want to say? Like, I like your New Jersey.
Yeah.
New Jersey for BlizzCon, OP.
Yeah. I like this New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to like fans or for this part of the video, or anything you want to say to Rogue that you won't like get to say because he's crying after you beat him?
I hope you guys enjoy the BlizzCon, and I'm gonna show you guys best games by me. And thank you for sharing me. Thank you.
Thank you. So, you lost to Rogue, right?
Yeah. Right.
What went different in the series than how you thought it was going to go?
I thought he was gonna do safety build,
Yeah.
and some greedy build, because I've been always using some safe builds every time in GVG,
Mm-hmm.
but he went just 15 pull every game, so my plan didn't work out. That's how did it go?
So how do you feel? Like, I don't want to be like, standard interview, but like,
I felt sad right after I lost my match.
Yeah.
But it was getting okay after that, because I had been always trying to my best into BlizzCon games, and it just I don't need to practice anymore.
yeah, now
for
you get a break?
BlizzCon. Yeah. So
Yeah. So you think, I heard that you think you should have played macro games.
Yeah, right.
And would have won. So you think just like unlucky, like his build versus your build?
yeah, my just whole series was just unlucky, I think.
So what are your plans for next year?
Next year, I'm gonna try to get higher place than what I got in this year, and I'm probably gonna do WCS next year as well.
So you're gonna win 3 seasons of WCS and then win BlizzCon?
Yes.
Like easy?
Yeah, not easy, but yeah.
Diego, ask some important questions or some like
Important.
questions about the games.
Oh, the game on Dash and Terminal.
Yeah.
I heard you messed up your micro with the banelings because you morphed the banelings on the ramp, and he killed one of the banelings with his drones.
Yeah, right.
And shouldn't you have won that game?
Yeah, maybe I should have won that game, but I didn't really prepare that Stratus, and I've never used that build in any tournaments before. That's what I used that build in that match.
Okay.
But
So it was like a build that you were hiding completely,
Mhm.
but you weren't super comfortable with?
Yeah, and I didn't get used to that build.
Yeah.
So that's why I lost, I think.
Okay. It seemed like you played pretty well. Like, I don't, I'm not an expert, but
Yeah.
it seemed like you played pretty well. Is there anything that you would like change about how you prepared or anything else? Like, I mean, you did really well, but is there anything you would change if you knew now?
I just would have played just straight build. Yeah, and I just should have played macro games. Yeah.
Okay, so what are you doing now? Like, not next year, but like, what are your plans for right after BlizzCon? Because this video will come out in like a week probably.
Okay. I'm gonna take a break in Korea a few months before next WCS. I'm probably gonna practice Legacy of the Void, and I'm gonna do stream as well.
You're gonna start streaming more?
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm gonna start streaming.
Sick. I guess this is the last interview we're doing for this, and then I don't have to bother you with the camera anymore.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say to your fans before next WCS season?
Yeah, I think this BlizzCon is my last tournament in this year, and I've been always trying my best to show good games in any tournaments. And I hope you guys enjoy my games and my Team Root Gaming. And thanks for my sponsors and my fans. So, and I'll show you good games in next year as well. Thank you.
Okay, and there was something else I wanted to ask you. What was my question? Do you know what my question was?
Is it game related?
I don't remember at all. So how satisfied are you, like with how well you did, like with your placement and stuff? Like, I know you were confident going in.
Yeah.
But are you satisfied with how far you got based on the competition, or do you think that maybe should have gone farther, or maybe went farther than you should have, or?
I'm not satisfied what I got from this tournament. I should have gotten like at least the finals, because I've always winning against Rogue, and that's why I try to use other builds than just what I just use normally. And I've always winning against SOS as well in any tournaments since when I was in CJ. So I was really confident, but it didn't work out. So yeah, maybe next year.